In continuing on with my top 30 favorite TV shows of all time, we've come to number 13 on my list. And this is a show that came out in the last 20 years and was one of those great shows that NBC had in the mid 2000s. And we're going to cut to a couple of them later on in this list here. But number 13 on my list is 30 Rock. So 30 Rock is based on Tina Fey's experiences as the head writer on Saturday Night Live. It takes place behind the scenes of a fictional live sketch comedy show called The Girly Show, depicted as airing on NBC. And, this is a show that features Jane Krakowski as her best friend, Jenna Maroney, and the new head of NBC, the new executive, Jack Donaghy, played by Alec Baldwin, comes in and basically forces Liz to hire the unpredictable Tracy Jordan, played by Tracy Morgan, onto the show. And that makes up the first episode in general. You have a great ensemble cast. It also includes Jack McBrayer, Scott Adsit, Judah Friedlander, Katrina Bowden, Keith Powell, Lonnie Ross. And over the course of the show, they would add in different characters played by a number of different celebrities on here. This show... Here's the interesting thing about this show in particular. When it was coming on the air, it was coming on the air around the same time of another show that was really hyped up to be the next big thing, which was very similar to this show, Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip. And it was mostly because of what happened with the people behind that show. The creators of The West Wing worked on that, and there was a lot of buzz building up for that show in particular. And 30 Rock was kind of pushed off to the side. It got put this. Let me put it this way: when it first started, it was shelved onto Wednesday night at 8:30 behind a really bad-looking comedy with John Lithgow, and also it was a show called 20 Good Years, I think it was. I can't remember who else was in it, but I know John Lithgow was in it. Let me see if I can find it here. Jeffrey Tambor was also on it too. It was the first thing he had done after Arrested Development, and it was on. It's actually 30 Rock led the night that night, but because 20 Good Years didn't last very long, it only lasted like 4 episodes before NBC pulled it. And then eventually 30 Rock would find its audience through the Thursday night lineup, where it would eventually go on to become the successful show that it was, and winning 3 Emmy Awards for Outstanding Comedy Series. But it's funny how that show was a show that kind of got put into a really bad time slot. Meanwhile, Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip was a show that they were really hyping up to be the next big thing, especially considering with the people behind it, Aaron Sorkin and Matthew Perry as among the cast, with Matthew Perry, Amanda Peet, Sarah Paulson, Bradley Whitford among the cast in here. But that show only lasted about 1 season, didn't do the best with critics overall, and was largely forgotten almost immediately after it left overall. But yeah, 30 Rock was the one that eventually found its way to finding an audience and lasting longer than that show did. And really, there's 3 key factors about it that make it a great show. One is the cast. I mean, like I said, a terrific cast featuring Tina Fey, Alec Baldwin, Tracy Morgan, good lord, Tracy Morgan, Jane Krakowski, and Jack McBrayer, and they're great on the show. The ensemble cast is really great too. Like, you have all these people that you may not be too familiar with. Some of them, most of them you might know from if you watch Conan O'Brien a lot, which is funny because one of the best episodes from the first season is an episode where they're literally trying to get Tracy Morgan onto the Late Night with Conan O'Brien show after an incident before where he literally tried to stab Conan O'Brien with like these knives, like a knife stabbing robot or something like that. But it's one of the best episodes of the show overall. It's Tracy does Conan, but the comedy on the show is so well done and nicely put together. It makes the laughs more approachable, and the setting of 30 Rockefeller Plaza works because you have all these shows within NBC, and you can have so much fun with the ideas of what you can do with it overall. And this is a show that also loves a lot to use a lot of NBC personnel involved in it. One of the best episodes ever is when it's the second season premiere episode, and it was mostly a promo thing for Jerry Seinfeld's upcoming movie, B-Movie, but it was still made for a hilarious episode. I mean, the idea of it was Jack was trying to put Jerry Seinfeld into every NBC series with Seinfeld vision, which It's pretty much a precursor to AI when you really think about it. But they insert clips of Jerry in Law and Order SVU, Heroes, and even an episode of Deal and No Deal. And then Jerry basically goes and confronts Jack and Jack basically wants to make amends with him. And he says, "What NBC show would you like to be inserted in?" And Jerry says, "I like Lost. Is that you guys?" Like I thought that was pretty good. The episode overall is really great. And the great thing about the show is that they make fun of not only TV and even NBC. Like, they just go crazy with some of the more hilarious jokes in the show. Like, you get crazy shows like MILF Island and a great running gag where Will Ferrell stars in a show literally called Bitch Hunter. And it has this theme song that is so damn catchy. Like, just listen.
Happy birthday, bitches!
It's so hilarious, not just for the song alone, the title of the show, but Will Ferrell just going in there like, "Happy birthday, bitches," like he's in a bad action movie. But, I mean, that's really what makes the show so special. It is so hilarious, and again, it's a precursor to sadly what the world has become nowadays in television, where we literally have shows like MILF Island, except not named MILF Island, but pretty much straightforward like that, except the fact that it's not literally named that. But and once again, it's a show like Arrested Development that does a good job of putting in guest stars. They give them reasons to be there and make them enjoyable to watch. You know, like I said, Jerry Seinfeld. They'll bring in Elizabeth Banks. They'll bring in Will Arnett to be the arch enemy of Alec Baldwin's character. Brian Williams has a lot of funny moments in here. They add atmosphere to the shows, and it just all the more hilarious that you can see that these NBC personnel are just having a good time making the show in general here, and it just works so well. 30 Rock is just an amazing show. It works on almost every single level, and while it did go past its peak, probably in the last season overall, it was never a bad show overall. I think all the seasons that we had out there are very good, with the last couple seasons being not the strongest, but hey, they're certainly a lot better than a lot of other shows that kind of petered out in their last seasons overall, so you got to give it credit for that. So not much more to say, except 30 Rock is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. Number 13 on my list of my favorite TV shows. So there you go. That's my thoughts on 30 Rock. If you want to hear what I had to say about Whose Line Is It Anyway, check out the video in the corner. Check out the playlist below to see some of the other videos I made about my favorite TV shows. And I will see you guys in the new year. So, see you next year.